Hello and welcome to Nationwide. I am Dennis Adegunloye. The indelible marks left behind by men of goodwill following their departure from this world to the great beyond will continue to live after them. Vice President Kashim Shettima made this observation at the special prayers held in honor of the late former President Muhammadu Buhari at his Daura home in Katsina State. And as part of the special morning activities approved by President Bola Tinubu in honor of late former President Muhammadu Buhari, an expanded special session of the Federal Executive Council is scheduled for 5 p.m. today at the Council Chambers at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. A statement by Rabiu Ibrahim, Special Assistant Media to the Ministry of Information and National Orientation, says the special FEC meeting will hold after the third day prayer for the late former president at his residence in Daura, Katsina State, with the Vice President Kashim Shettima leading a delegation of the federal government for the prayers. On Friday, July 18th, a special prayer session will be held in honor of the late former president at the National Mosque Abuja, while on Sunday, July 20th, a special church service will be conducted in his honor. Executive Secretary of the Lake Chad Basin Commission and Head of Mission, Multinational Joint Task Force, Ambassador Maman Nuhu, also expresses heartfelt condolences to the government and people of Nigeria, as well as the family of the late former President Muhammadu Buhari. He describes late former President Buhari as a visionary leader whose unwavering commitment to regional integration and security left an indelible mark on the Lake Chad Basin region, helping to revitalize the Multinational Joint Task Force and to strengthen the collective fight against terrorists in the region. Meanwhile, former Kano State Governor Ibrahim Shekarau also conveys his condolences on the passing of the former president, saying that the late president will be deeply missed. He recalls his close interactions with him, revealing the late leader's deep passion for his people. All right, let's now cross over to the State House, where my colleague, State House correspondent Musbah Danwahab, will give us a feel of the ambience as we build up towards the special FEC valedictory session. Musbah, what's the atmosphere like over there?
It is on and getting bigger, getting to the climax actually at the State House here. The mood here is that of mourning. The flags in my front that you cannot see at the moment is just our staff as directed by the president. And in less than 1 hour, we expect people, any moment from now, we expect members of the Federal Executive Council to start coming in into this council chamber right here behind me for the expanded special session in honor of immediate past President Muhammadu Buhari. And that is going to be expanded because we're expecting leadership of the National Assembly, including the Senate, President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, Speaker, House of Representatives Tajuddin Abbas, to be part of the session. Now, this is the first time that we're going to have an expanded session like this in honor of any former president, and it's coming for President Muhammadu Buhari. We've had sessions 1 minute silence in parts of former leaders, former council members, and special session, but for an expanded session to be held in honor of a former president. This is the first time, actually, and a delegation of the federal government led by the Vice President Kashim Shettima that went or attended the third day prayer for the former president in Daura are just airborne now with the information that we have at our disposal, and they are expected to come right straight to this council chamber to be part of that meeting, because we also have a lot of council members, ministers, about 20 of them, and the vice president. They will be part of this session coming on soon. Now, let me join one of my colleagues here, Juliana Taiwo Obanoye, who has been in the State House for a while. She was part of those press corps members who covered former President Muhammadu Buhari, and we're going to hear a bit from her. Juliana, I'm sure your dressing can depict the mood in the State House with your color, and sadly, we just lost a former president, and Nigerians have been mourning that. So what exactly would you remember about this former president, Muhammadu Buhari?
I'll remember him for his wit. He was a man of, he had jokes to tell. At every session, we had the opportunity to cover, even if he was inaugurating a committee, or just generally speaking, for one, it was the first day he came into office and he decided to meet members of the press. For us, that was a very important way of him saying, you guys are important. He met each and every one of us and we introduced ourselves. And the funny thing was that for each person he spoke to, that introduced him or herself to him, he had something to say. So in my case, the moment I introduced myself to him, and my boss, then Mr. Femi Adesina, being his spokesman, coming from the Sun, he turned, looked at him, and then looked at me and said, tell your cartoonist, the way they draw my chin, that's not how long my chin is. So he was a man of he was jovial, a bit that we've seen with him, and I've had cause to cover him outside the country. I was with him in Washington when he met with Donald Trump during his first tenure in Washington, D.C. I was also with him in Germany, where he made that famous remarks that my wife, I don't know the political party my wife belongs to, but I know she belongs to my kitchen and the other one. So, I mean, he's a man of, he was a man of wit for the few times, even during Salah celebration, when we had the opportunity to shake his hands during the Salah coverage, homage, he had something to say, At times he will comment about your height. The way he will look at you will make you to laugh because already he's, noting the fact that you are not as tall as he is. He was also a stickler for time. If he has, if there was a function here for one, you can be sure he will walk in there 2 minutes to the time or a minute to the time. He was never late. And that military background, that discipline stayed with him all through. You can be sure that most times ministers were locked out of FEC if he happens to step in. Probably when there's a break, then they will move in. So we witnessed that he was a stickler for time, discipline. And as far as I know, I think he tried his best. He meant well. He was always talking about the poor, you understand. And I think his programs, the trader money and all those programs, by the humanitarian ministry, just showed his heart. For the poor. So,
interesting to hear that from you. Now, very quickly, we've seen the way that the federal government has organized a lot of programs, activities in honor of this man. What do you have to say about that?
I mean, he's a man of history. He was the president of this country. Whatever honor is being accorded him in time of death, he's well deserved. So he merited it. And don't forget, he was a popular man, and his popularity was organic. It's not a rangy kind of a thing, So he was a man of the people, so he's well deserved. We are honoring a man that God gave him opportunity to rule this country twice. First as a military president, second as a democratic president. So it's well deserved.
Thank you so much, Juliana Taiwo Banoye of the Sun newspaper. You have just heard about the late Muhammadu Buhari, his attributes, characteristics, actually. The most important part are discipline, which everybody knows about him. So any moment from now, we expect members of the Federal Executive Council to start coming in, and as soon as that is the House is called to order, will bring the transmission to you live on the network service of the NTA.
Certainly, Musbah, this special expanded sitting of the Federal Executive Council, no doubt a reflection of the icon that is the late former President Muhammadu Buhari. Thank you, Musbah. Now, the Remi Tinubu Support Organization has organized an interfaith prayer session for the repose of the soul of late President Muhammadu Buhari amidst deep reflection on his enduring legacies and Nigeria's former leader, who led by example. The support group said the late President Muhammadu Buhari was a political institution who mentored several generations of leaders and brought sanity into the nation's polity with widespread support across Nigeria. The group prayed for the repose of the soul of late President Buhari and appreciated President Bola Tinubu for standing tall during the national mourning in honor of his predecessors.
Father Lord in heaven, I pray he has gone and leave us. He has run his race and he has finished the course.
We are saying thank you very much, Baba Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for the whole program, for the concern, for the love you show to the soul of our late president. We thank you very much.
A condolence register was later opened where supporters took turns to eulogize the late president, describing him as a father to all and a leader who will be fondly remembered for his uncompromising stand against corruption and insecurity. Let's now cross over to our Lagos Network Centre, where Kemi will give us the next set of reports. Hello, Kemi.
Thank you, Dennis. To achieve inclusivity and educate autistic children to attain their full potential, teachers and caregivers should begin to inculcate artificial intelligence tools to guarantee a more result-oriented learning experience for children affected by the spectrum. Joa Popola reports that experts are advocating capacity building for teachers handling children with special needs.
Autism can be a pulsating experience for mothers and teachers, especially those who have difficulty communicating their needs.
I have a 25-year-old daughter living with autism. The communication aspect is the most challenging part of it.
Oyeyemi Adako, a special education expert, is changing this unwanted narrative by championing use of artificial intelligence to transform autism education and unlock the silent potential of autistic children. She knows that while the traditional classroom is not designed for neurodiversity, there are AI tools tailored to specific needs of the autistic children.
For example, we've got like AI tools that use like robots, and when it talks, the child talks better. And at this point, I think it makes speaking, communication more better. We've got some AI tools that can detect autism in early stage. And at this point, when it is detected, the child can be able to manage, send them to schools where they belong to.
For parents, teachers, and other stakeholders who have now been exposed to the endless possibilities of AI, they are hoping its impact in management of autism will yield the desired results.
Those who have learning difficulty, so that tool is going to be of great help to them.
But yes, I feel like AI is taking over the world right now, so AI is going to make it sure that it is easier to communicate effectively.
As the relentless awareness campaign on autism continues, experts agree it is time to move from awareness to action. In Lagos, Joel Bukbola, NTA News.
The Nigeria Customs Muritala Muhammad Area Command has reaffirmed commitment of their command in the fight against economic saboteurs, security threats, and protection of wildlife species. This assurance was given by the area controller, Michael Awe, while disclosing the command seizures and activities in the last 6 months.
Nigeria is regarded as a major transit route for illegal trafficking and trade in wildlife. To change the ugly narrative, Nigeria Customs Service is enhancing surveillance and strengthening security. This is evident with the interception of pangolin scales weighing 3,765 kilograms and 2 live pangolins by the Nigeria Customs Muritala Muhammad Area Command. The endangered animals have been handed over to the appropriate authorities.
These seizures were the result of robust intelligence gathering. The command remains firmly committed to curbing all forms of unlawful trades. We will continue to enforce all applicable laws and regulations.
Our life, the animals in the wildlife are going extinct from time to time because of some selfish individuals. Just like what we are seeing practically here. Elephants are not safe, pangolins and other wildlife species. So that is why the globe under United Nations Environment Program decided to sit together to see how can we conserve this, because if nothing is done, tomorrow we'll wake up and none of these wildlife will be in existence.
Other items intercepted by the command in the last 6 months include ballistic helmets, Tipman semi-automatic caliber mag, and empty Tipman tank cylinders. The command also revealed that it recorded an increase in revenue generation during the period under review compared to figures from last year. In Lagos, Bolaji Akim, NTA News.
And those are the stories from Lagos. It's time for us to take a break. More reports when we return. Please stay with us.
To Ibadan. In line with the federal government's ongoing sensitization on tax reforms, the community engagement campaign team was in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital. Yemisi Ajagun, who covered the sensitization rally, reports that market women and men across Ibadan were actively engaged as part of efforts to raise public awareness.
The newly introduced tax reforms is scheduled to be operational by January 2026, and to this end, the federal government sensitization campaign team on community engagement was at Ojo Market in Ibadan to sensitize the traders on zero tax on food and medicals. The team, comprising senior special assistant to the president on community engagement and other relevant stakeholders, engaged traders, artisans, and business owners on one-on-one to promote a better understanding on the provisions of the tax reforms. The reformed tax system by President Tinubu is designed to simplify compliance, is also to curb multiple taxation and give succor to low-income earners.
We are here to relieve them of the taxes that have always been imposed on them. This is happening in the southwest region, it has happened in the north central region, it has happened in the northwest region, and we are here to let them know that President Tinubu means well for the grassroots.
Some traders expressed appreciation for the initiative, noting that awareness campaigns will help to clear grey areas on taxation and government policies.
All those tax rates that our importers pay for government, they will reduce it, and they will reduce their price to sell for us.
The awareness is expected to be a continuous exercise until most Nigerians come to terms with the new tax reforms. In Ibadan, Yemisi Ajagun, NTA News.
A member of the House of Representatives representing Ido Ibarapa Federal Constituency, Remi Oseni, is nurturing youth groups to strengthen ties with the APC to gather grassroots support for future elections in Oyo State. This came to the fore during the general meeting of the Remi Oseni Committee of Friends Assembly, Ibarapa East Chapter, held in Irua, Oyo State. Wasiu Rove has the details.
The lawmaker, Remi Oseni, stressed the need for the group and other youths in Ibarapa to rise above personal interest and work together as one big family and a team alongside APC members to chart a course for development in the state. He encouraged them not to leave no stone unturned to drive the mandate of APC to the promised land.
All I'm doing is just to encourage the people who should be liberated from political imprisonment. We want to put an era to sending mediocres into office. The new wave agenda has come and it has come to stay. Nobody can change that position.
Meanwhile, Director General and leaders of the Wokof Assembly in Ibarapa East noted that a regular meeting of such nature will further cement their bonds towards achieving the mandate of the group.
What we are desperate about is how we are going to protect the welfare of the people. We want everybody to have a sense of belonging, because having the chance to sit down with our eminent boss will give them more confidence that they are on the right path. They are doing so many things for us, for the past, and we appreciate it.
The gathering deliberated on the way forward, also on how to feel the impact of the good representation of Remi Oseni at the National Assembly to the people at the grassroots in Ibadan. Wasiu of NTA News.
And that's it from Ibadan. It's back to you, Dennis.
Many thanks, Kemi. Now, the federal government says ending the nation's dependence on fish importation is in sight through the aggressive enhancement of local fish production. Minister of Marine and Blue Economy Adegboyega Oyotola disclosed this at a high-level consultative meeting with fisheries cooperative groups in Abuja. Chukunonso Nwabweze reports.
Being by the Federal Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy provides the needed avenue for the Minister Adegboyega Oyotola to outline bold vision aimed at transforming the nation's aquaculture sector.
The federal government has identified fisheries and aquaculture as priority areas for enhancing food security, promoting rural development, and generating employment as such the policy direction.
A pilot project should be set up or established by establishing aquaculture input center in 12 states across the 6 geopolitical zone, 2 by each zone.
We want to produce our own feed. We want to make our own local feed. So we want you to help us, to give us the equipment.
Participants at the highly interactive engagement praised the initiative as timely and long overdue, expressing hope that the consultative approach would lead to actionable results. Chukunonso Nwabweze, NTA News.
Our next port of call is our Maiduguri Network Center, where Ladidi is our guide. Hello, Ladidi.
Thank you, Dennis, and welcome to Maiduguri. The role of Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, in public sector procurement and financial integrity in Borno's local government councils dominated discussions at the 2-day capacity building workshop held at the University of Maiduguri. Abubakar Musa reported that the workshop was attended by council chairmen across the 27 local government areas of Borno State.
The workshop, organized by an independent accounting agency in collaboration with ICPC Borno State, brought together local government chairmen, security officials, and public officers from various local government areas of Borno State. The resident anti-corruption commissioner, Linus Gubi, and organizer Musa Garba Gulani noted that the training aims to equip officials with the skills and knowledge of financial integrity to restore public trust, which will contribute to meaningful development.
Allocations will be coming directly from the federal government to their various accounts, and we believe with trainings like this, they will be equipped to manage those resources very well.
We're going to avoid financial mismanagement before it even happens. You know, right from the time when they are giving contracts to contractors, and at the same time when money is spent on procuring goods and services to the people.
Borno State Head of Service, Dr. Aminu Mohammed Guluzi, who represented Governor Zulum, commended ICPC for organizing the event, highlighting how effective resource management and accountability can enhance service delivery. Participants commended the organizers, saying they will apply the knowledge gained from the training. Other speakers echoed the need to fight against unethical practices and promote a culture of integrity towards the overall development of Borno State. In Maiduguri, Abubakar Musa, NTA News.
That does it from here. Nationwide continues with Dennis in Abuja. Dennis, is back to you.
And thanks for joining us in Makurdi. To transform the Nigerian Air Force into an agile and resilient force that can effectively meet the air power demands of national security in all operational environments, deliberate training and mission-oriented force development are imperative. This formed part of the submissions by the Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Hassan Bala Abubakar, during the graduation ceremony of the Regimental Intelligence and Security Officers Course 4/2025 of the Nigerian Air Force School of Air Intelligence, Makurdi. Charles Abba reports.
After inspecting the quarter guards at the airport, Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Hassan Bala Abubakar, was quick to his mission. The graduation ceremony of Regimental Intelligence and Security Officers Course 4/2025 of the NAVSAINT. The Air Officer Commanding, Air Training Command, Air Vice Marshal Ahmed Dari, and the Commandant of NAVSAINT, Air Commodore Adolfo Sakins, unfolded the needful about the event.
The objective of the Regimental Intelligence and Security Officers Course is to equip officers from non-intelligence specialty with the rudiments of intelligence statecraft.
Like all good things, the gestation period could be tough, tedious, and painful, while the end is always full of excitement.
30 of the students scaled through the 8 weeks training to the graduation day, and Flight Lieutenant K. Ibrahim emerged as the best graduating student. Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Hassan Bala Abubakar, who congratulated the graduates, noted that in today's dynamic security environment, threats to national security have grown increasingly asymmetric, complex, and unpredictable, which requires a proactive, intelligent approach to effectively tackle them.
Intelligence remains the bedrock of effective air operations. It informs decision-making, drives mission planning, and shapes operational outcomes.
He appreciated the unwavering support of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to the Nigerian Air Force. In Makurdi, Charles Abba, NTA News.
And that's our contribution from Makurdi. It's back to Dennis in Abuja.
Thank you, Fatima. Now, recently, in Sokoto, a team of 15 secondary school students successfully built a functional electric car as part of their contribution towards a sustainable future. Sadia Umar Digi tells us that the project is a culmination of extensive research and collaboration.
This is not a product of a multinational tech company, but a locally made electric vehicle built from scratch by 15 graduating senior secondary school students in Sokoto, the seat of the Caliphate.
This vehicle has 3 aspects. The first aspect is the mechanical aspect, we have the electrical aspect, and the body aspect.
Considering the inflation we are having in Nigeria, this covers up for the money being spent on transportation.
It has 5 batteries which have 12 volts each. With the help of the charger, this vehicle can charge about 43 hours, which can also last 6 to 7 hours.
The zero-emission vehicle combines basic electrical and mechanical system using locally sourced materials. One of the special features of the vehicle is its ability to run efficiently for hours when the battery is fully charged, making it environmentally friendly and a potential solution to fuel-related challenges in Nigeria. It is a bold statement that Nigeria's future inventors and problem solvers are already at work. In Sokoto, Sadia Umardigi, NTA News.
And right now, Lawali Salihu Sabomburni is at the school premises to shed more light on this milestone. Lawali, what can you tell us about this very special innovation by these secondary school students?
Dennis, thank you. As you see me here, I'm sitting comfortably inside this functional electric vehicle that is invented by these 15 senior secondary school graduating students of brilliant Footstep International Academy here in Sokoto. Now, this is indicated that these students have exhibited the commitments and the passion they have to science and technology. And with this, one can see sky is their limit. And one of the things that you should know about this vehicle that I'm sitting inside right now is that one of the features of this is that if it is fully charged after 4 hours battery charged, the charge can be sustained for 7 hours, and the car can run for 10 hours without stop. But with me is Vice Chancellor, Iconic University, Sokoto, who is also General Managing Director, Brilliant Footstep International, here in Sokoto, to shed more light on these marvelous projects by these students. Doctor,
yes,
just put us through these projects for the Nigerians to know and the entire world.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm Dr. Shadi Sabe, the General Managing Director of Brilliant Footstep International Academy in Sokoto. Education, to me, is the transformation of knowledge into impact. So we cannot be said to be fully educated if the knowledge we acquire is not impactful. So we believe in functional education, an education system that can build graduates, whether at the secondary level, at the tertiary level, to be able to do and not just know. And that's why at the Academy, Brilliant Footstep International Academy in Sokoto, we've been able to integrate functional education that is STEM-based, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, to introduce our students to productivity, such that when they do graduate, they will be able to show what they can do and not just know. And that will expose them to the industry, that will kickstart them towards employability, relevance. It's not just about them being employed, but how employable are they? So we are looking at an education that is skills-backed, an education that is industry relevant, and an education that would position our children to be productive. Africa, Nigeria, we're consumerist people. So we must depend on our education systems, models, mechanisms, pedagogy to be able to give us a generation of inventors, a generation of innovators, a generation that would, heavily push forward production. And that's why we've been able to, come up with the support of Maglosh electric vehicles. We've been able to build this electric vehicle, our SS3 students, as they are graduating project.
Now, if I may take you this way, Doctor.
Yes, please.
Is this the first time for you to come up with this, a graduating student of this institution, to come up with this kind of projects? Since you now, from the foregoing report, it says that senior secondary school graduating students, 15 of them came up with this innovation. This is for the first time for your school to come up with this.
I think this is the first time we are making such a landmark. Across the classes of our schools, from primary to secondary, there are STEM projects they embark upon. They've, built a smart bin, a water level indicator, a traffic light system. They've built a lot of projects that they've been able to do, with the guidance of the teachers. And this is just one of the biggest we've done so far. And of course, the beginning of many others we intend to unleash over time. This is the BMT 1.0. So we are planning to convert an ICE, an internal combustion engine vehicle, into an electric vehicle. We are looking at electric wheelchairs. We are looking at electric bicycles. They've converted a manual bicycle to an electric bicycle before now. So this is a project in a series of projects that they've been tutelaged through from their basic school to the secondary school. But I think this is the high point for now and the beginning of many, more wonderful projects to come.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Doctor. Now with this, we can see the younger generations, like these inventors in Nigeria, can compete favorably with their contemporaries technologically at global or on a global stage. Now back.
Absolutely, Lawali. Definitely this STEM-based teaching will certainly bring out the best in our young students and more grease to their elbows. Many thanks. Now, the federal government is pulling out all the stops for a complete digital transformation. The Civil Service of the Federation is spearheading the efforts, With a bold move, a paperless policy set to launch by the end of this year. But the question is, how prepared are government's establishments for this paradigm shift? And how are they leveraging services of government's owned digital technological backbone entity, Galaxy Backbone? Well, the head of the Civil Service of the Federation was on a crucial tour of the agency's facility in Abuja to give us insights in this report from Chimdimma Ndubisi.
The time is ticking. Deadline for all ministries, departments and agencies to switch to paperless operations just by the corner. Of course, this involves rock-solid ICT infrastructure installations, including strong internet connectivity to ensure speedy and seamless service delivery. So, as the head of Civil Service of the Federation sits with management team of the government entity that houses data of all organizations providing ICT infrastructure, the Galaxy Backbone, the request is for support to actualize the December 31 target. Having recorded success with the creation of a singular email platform for all civil servants, GovMail.
The other thing we need your support for is to ensure that the ministries, departments, and agencies all have an active enterprise content management system. You may have to set up an arm that would go from state to state, helping them with their digital transformation.
We have successfully deployed high-speed fiber optic cables across 28 states. We humbly seek your support, to activate and fully leverage this infrastructure.
In advancing the nation's digital transformation, 32 top government officials are currently undergoing Nigerian Executive Leadership Program facilitated by the United Nations and United Arab Emirates. In Abuja, Chimdimma Ndubisi, NTA News.
Meanwhile, Nigeria's workforce can be strategically prepared in a competitive, rapidly evolving global economy for the future by recognizing the growing impacts of automation, artificial intelligence, and other advanced technologies that are reshaping industries. Elizabeth Omori reports that this was the position at a forum on Nigeria Works 2030 to empower the youths.
Technology has significantly transformed various traditional forms of work across many sectors. For example, the traditional typist is now a virtual assistant, and smart farms are now promoting food availability. As technologies take charge, traditional job roles are being disrupted. And the question is Nigeria prepared to adapt to this global demand? One of the reasons they have gathered to analyze Nigeria's workforce vision.
If we put our heads together and we put our hearts and our hands behind it, definitely by the year 2030, we will be able to take a good number of the Nigerian workforce, into the future of work.
There has to be a marriage between automation and personnel. So we need to get our civil servants, we need to get our public servants the ability to effectively use the internet.
The integration of AI into the workforce presents several challenges, such as job displacement, ethical concerns, and data privacy.
Begin to prepare our young graduates right from when they get into the university on how prepared they are for the workforce. So you begin to adapt the use of collaborative tools in the classroom.
To thrive in this new era, they insist Nigeria must invest in transforming its training systems, raise awareness, create wealth to drive the economy, and upscale the workforce. Elizabeth Omori, NTA News.
Another news, a book, The Stubborn Shoot, a powerful commentary that addresses drug abuse, institutional corruption, youth alienation, gender marginalization, and cultural conflicts, has been unveiled. Etima Okonu Sanga's work serves as a wake-up call for society to reflect on its values, support its youths, reform its institutions, and amplify women's voices.
The book simply aims at creating that reawakening in women, that they can come together to channel their energy that the main folk believe that they don't have, to pursue this drug abuse, anti-drug abuse campaign. And in so doing, they can create the society that they want, devoid of all these domestic violence against women.
Look at most of the books on drugs. They are non-fictional books. They are scientific books. So people don't really want to be bothered with these huge books. But when a book is written in a story, which people hardly do, it has this power to attract people, and then people can relate with these stories. They can see experience of others, and they can also learn lessons from them.
It is one way that schools can help, to reduce issues of drug abuse.
The 179-page novel metaphorically symbolizes resistance and transformation. It is recommended for schools, which will sharpen or shapen the lifestyle of the younger ones for a better Nigeria. Let's now join Archie Bong, who will give us some insights on some of the legacies of late President Muhammadu Buhari.
Yes, thank you, Dennis. Yes, this is Benin. And of course, talking about the legacies of the late president here in Edo State, I can point to water projects that he was able to bring to Edo Central, because Edo Central is known to be lacking water. And so that was a very significant thing that he did for the people of Ishan. And then turning to agriculture, I think through the River Owena Basin Authority, we had integrated farms, and whereby farmers had access for trainings, and also they had access for farm input, and it boosted production in the state. And specifically, when we are looking at about the housing unit, under his administration, 68 housing units was inaugurated. And what is so significant at that time was that there was a promise that was made to the 1994 squad of the Super Eagles. And it was under President Buhari's administration that one of the squad members, Thompson Oloya, though he died, a house was handed over to the wife. And so, like the people have said, that he was a man of simplicity. And yeah, all right. I think.
All right, Udwaka Bong, many thanks for giving us some of those very laudable legacies of late President Muhammadu Buhari. Thank you very much. The federal government says it is committed to bridging the gap between local innovation and commercial success by supporting inventors, startups, and small-scale manufacturers across the country. Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Alausa, gave the assurance during a visit to Innovate Hub in Abuja. He reaffirmed the President's administration's commitment to fostering and enabling environments for innovation through sustained investments in human capital development and entrepreneurship to secure Nigeria's future in the global knowledge economy.
What do we do? What do we need as a country? But then the missing gap is, how do you get people to come and adopt that? Beyond the financing, the manufacturers. Those are the two things you need to couple together as you do this.
Dr. Lausan notes that many Nigerian innovators struggle to convert ideas into market-ready products. And to address this, the federal government is finalizing plans to establish a National Design and Development Agency, a platform that will help refine innovations, provide access to funding, and connect inventors to market opportunities. All right, let's take you back now to the State House, where the atmosphere is slowly gathering momentum as we build up to this special expanded sitting of the Federal Executive Council. Over to Musbah. All right, we'll get to Musbah shortly. In the meantime, The Armed Forces of Nigeria, in collaboration with other security agencies, will continue to deploy strategies to effectively combat the contemporary threats facing the country with a view to restoring peace to all affected areas. The Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Marcus Kange, affirmed this at the periodic update of ongoing armed forces operations in the country. Defense correspondent Olajide Bello reports.
Troops of Operation Delta Safe under the period of review deterred oil theft worth 291,326,400, with breakdown of 201,345 litres of stolen crude oil, 29,730 litres of illegally refined automotive gas oil, 1,751 litres of dual-purpose kerosene, while 42 arrests were made. Between 10th to 16th July 2025, troops of Operation Hardin K sustained actions to deny Boko Haram and ISWAP terrorists freedom of action in the Northeast region as the Joint Task Force Northeast made 11 arrests of terrorist logistics suppliers, rescued 7 kidnapped victims and recovered a cache of ammunitions. The Joint Task Force of Operation Fansanyama rescued 7 kidnapped victims and arrested 15 terrorists, while Joint Task Force Operation Safe Haven arrested 34 terrorists, rescued 8 kidnapped victims and made significant recoveries.
We are constantly guided by our operational guidelines, Code of Conduct for Internal Security Operations and laws of armed conflict. As the Nigerian military strategizes to conclude these operations, I urge the public to continue to cooperate with security agencies, remain vigilant, and report any suspicious activities to appropriate authority.
The Armed Forces of Nigeria says it remains resolute to discharging its constitutional duties with the highest level of professionalism. Olajide Bello, NTA News.
All right, Musbao Damahab, our State House correspondent, is ready for us now to give us a feel of as the atmosphere builds up to this special sitting of the Federal Executive Council for the late President Muhammadu Buhari. Musbao, over to you.